necessarily be favored, but as you said, we're talking about one team that are absolute veterans that have been playing the game competitively for years versus some guys that are definitely up and comers, so they're going to get
And we're
exposed.
in.
But what is fascinating in particular is that he knows that he's against a human rogue, so he's not starting in cat form. He's already in tree. He doesn't want to get sapped, and the aggression is coming straight onto Uzbeki. The druid is just chilling in tree form, in shadow mode, and it doesn't look like mid, even knows that he's there.
Yes, you can see Uzbeki is under onslaught coming out right there from Lumx, but he will manage to handle that. Priests are really, really resilient, but it looks like Mir is going to go on Lumx right now, opening there with a cheap shot, providing some control for his team. And there is a cheeky little gouge. Looks like he's going to use Berserker Rage to get out of that, and he wants to keep the pressure on Uzbeki as much as he can. There is early pain suppression going out, actually. Really interesting, Caitlin. Right now, this is a lot of pressure coming out from Lumx.
Yeah, we saw what I think was actually a parry from Lumx. You can see the way he's jumping and moving. He's trying to put his front towards Mir the entire time, trying to get those parries. He parried the kidney shot, which forced that early pain stuff from Uzbeki. But I'm so impressed with Himeyo's positioning here on the Druid. It is absolutely flawless. He's nowhere near anybody.
Yes, at Berserker Rage, he is going to remove that sap, but there is a cheap shot already on him. Mir is going in while Uzbeki is drinking as much as he can. There is the kidney shot. He's not going to remove it. Mind Blast to put even more damage onto him, and Himeyo needs to... Yeah, he needs to heal him up. There is a regrowth, and he's going through, actually. He's healing him really, really, really nicely. But he has that remove poison, and looks like there's going to be a little bit of recall right there, as there's soft reduction of the damage coming out, but Mir is really good at reducing the damage.
Tornadoes!
You've seen it. Tornado into Cyclone, not the most interesting thing that has been implemented in esports history ever, but nonetheless.
There we go. That puts Mir in a very uncomfortable position. You do not want to be Mir right now. Lumx can kill him incredibly quickly with a couple of crits, but here we see the aggressive play coming from Uzbeki. He's going to be looking for the fears and possibly dispel, because we have actually got an innovate running up on Himeyo the Druid currently. He wants to get out of line of sight of Uzbeki. Does not want to get that dispelled.
Yeah, Lumx is really, really low right now, and there is a Shadow Fiend on him as well. He needs to intervene. He just did that. There is a beautiful Shadow Step from here just to keep that onslaught going on Lumx, but looks like they are going to manage to survive as well and really, really keep themselves in the game. There is a Trinket as well coming on Himeyo, and looks like the onslaught is switching back onto the Druid right now. He has very little to no mana, whereas Uzbeki looks really, really healthy. Look at those power levels. This is looking really, really bad for the Warrior Druid matchup.
Yeah, we got another tornado here just to ruin everybody's day as Uzbeki goes flying. But yeah, we saw a very quick snap onto the Druid, which allowed a couple of mana burns, but it's going to be them going down now.
Oh, that is all she wrote, as we have a cheeky tornado saying, hello, I am here. Wow, Kargoz, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's Mir and Uzbeki, being Mir and Uzbeki. It's tough. Like, the thing is, against Warrior matchups, how it feels like, okay, if you're new to TBC, you might think, oh, Warriors are like the Chads of TBC, like they charge in a hamstring, Mortal Strike, massive pressure, massive damage, plate armor, like they're beefcakes. It's really kind of the opposite. They're running. They flirt with you for 1 second, hamstring, run away, intervene back to Druid, run. They're constantly running in a state of panic until randomly, at some time, they flip the script and like are suddenly winning and are super ahead, and you just like can never close out the kill on the Warrior. And it's the nature of rage generation that it is an infinite resource, and so I guess my point is, it might have looked a bit one-sided, but oftentimes the games that you beat Warrior teams look one-sided until they don't, and they just beat you. Like,
yeah, what was fascinating to me actually there was looking at the statistics is we had Mir doing 20,000 damage, but we had Uzbeki doing 19,000 damage. The priest, the disciplined priest, almost out-damaged his rogue. I mean, come on, that is some aggressive priest play, and he didn't even seem that taxed when it came to mana. His mana looked very healthy throughout the game. There obviously was that early pressure. I don't think he wanted to pop pain stuff when he was forced to, but in general, it looked very in control and very calm play from Uzbeki and Mir.
And right now, we're going to have another matchup on Nagran map. They won't really abuse as much of those beautiful pillars and open field that we can have in Nagrand. Kargoz, Caitlin, this is your baby. Let's go. What do you think about it?
I mean, he's playing a dwarf priest. Every time I see I think I'm traumatized from dwarf priests. They're so powerful. Such a short, compact package. The desperate prayer, the stone form, they feel so much tankier than any other priest. Nightmare fuel. So
Chastise as well.
I can see.
Chastise as well,
I can
for
obviously
sure.
see why they've gone for Nagrand again. You know, Nagrand is arguably the girthiest arena. I think I can remember someone described it as once. I believe it might have been you, Kargoz, actually. But yeah, no, it's very, very broad. There's lots of open space for the druid to, you know, maneuver around and take advantage, and especially keep away from that priest. He does not want to be getting mana burnt. And again, super aggressive start here from Lumx, going in straight onto the priest, looking for the early damage. And again, a very clever little shadow meld. We will see if Himeyo gets fooled by it twice in a row, as he spent the first 20 seconds of the previous game doing nothing, and it looks like it's going to be happening again.
Yeah, Mir just taking his time. Why? Why is he doing nothing right now? Can somebody break this down?
He's doing nothing right now because he doesn't want to open just yet. He wants his priest to 1v1 right now because there is a lot of potential pressure going out of the warrior. That is kind of the script that you kind of have in this matchup that everyone is running. But there you go, he's not doing nothing. He opens with CS, and there is that early blind that is getting trinketed by Himeyo. Trinkets being popped right now already. That means that in 60 seconds, Mir has opportunity to go for the full blind and sap. As they're kiting, you can see Uzbeki drinking again. Nice reflex. Lumx is getting on top of them, although. Look at this beautiful execution from Mir, just perfect maneuver. It's almost like he is not a rogue, but he is the leader of Assassin Squad himself. Silent Shadows, are you in the chat? Because this is just amazing to watch.
Yeah, as you said yourself, you know, when you see that very early blind going on to the druid, this is when the DPR or the priest rogue are basically saying, I'm going to force you to trinket this, and then in 90 seconds, I'm going to be able to blind you again, and you're not going to be able to trinket the second one. And they're creating the pressure. However, Lumx is doing incredibly well. You could see that, you know, the thunderclaps going off, the demo shouts going down. They know that this is the game that they're going to try and play, and I wouldn't be surprised if in about, 15 seconds or so, we see him intervening back because he knows the blind's going to be coming up.
And you could see there was a little mini reset right there that just happened, and there is a mana burn that I'm not sure. I'm thinking that went through, and we need to watch the replay a little bit at a later point of time. But you can see there's Mir really controlling and just making sure that he's slowly, bit by bit, putting pressure and trying to burn as many resources and reset as much as he can, and really creeping out on the HP bar from Lumx right now as he's dropping to 30%. And there is that sap, 8-second duration. Lumx is in a critical position right now. As you can see, Uzbeki is putting even more pressure. There is nothing that can heal him here. There's, if anything, Tornado that's going to finish him. And into a blind, Lumx goes down to win the series.
Wow.
I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's well played. Like, you said it too, Caitlin, right? Like, one thing is just playing for second blind, like, creates so much pressure. Like, that's just a thing you're so worried about if you're fighting them. Like, the warrior doesn't really have access to that. They just have, like, less control. It's tough to compare a rogue and a warrior, right? Like, I don't know if I fully understand it, but in my opinion, blind is the most powerful spell in TBC. Let me know if you have a different opinion, chat. But it's something that almost always forces a trinket, except for, like, very unique circumstances. Maybe if they're in bear form and they can't get punished into the sap, or maybe if you're a warlock and you have a pet and you can't get punished into the sap. It's just so powerful, and it's something that is so consistent. As soon as the game starts, Mir's doing his things, taking his time, and then as soon as he just clears blind on the druid, and it forces the trinket every time, man. Every time.
Right. On that note, we would like to have a chat with Uzbeki representing the team Uzbeki plus Mir. Caitlin, please introduce us.
Okay, Uzbeki, well done. And obviously, first off, congratulations on that what looked like quite a comfortable 2-0 victory for you guys there. Were you, worried at any point, or did you just feel, confident the entire time?
I feel like we had no worries at all. I mean, we knew it was a good team. Obviously, like, Lumx and Himeyo are like one of the best, warrior teams in TBC, I guess. But we were pretty confident.
And then in the first game, it seemed we couldn't work out whether it was a resist on that first kidney shot or a parry, but it was. I assume that was what forced the early pain suppression on yourself.
Yeah, he popped Death Wish, and I held my paints up for a while. But as soon as the kidney resisted, I knew I had to pace myself basically.
Do they have a way to win? Like, it's tough to know. I don't really know much about that matchup, Uzbeki. Like, is that a fight, or do you feel like you counter them pretty well? Tree Druid Warrior versus DPR.
I'd say in season 1 it's very hard for them, but they can still win. They need some good RNG regardless, though. If they want to win, I think they need good RNG and things going their way. Maybe the tornadoes hitting us a few times or something. But I think it's pretty hard for them in season 1.
And is that just because the lower Resil levels, or what goes through your head about season 1 that makes that tougher for him?
I guess druids just don't scale, or like druids scale really good with bonus healing, and they don't get enough of it in season 1, so their healing is kind of scuffed and they go boom fast.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. That is exactly what we saw in the game. The druid went and you applied a lot of crucial and beautifully executed crowd control, if I might add myself. On that note, I wish to express my thanks for coming in for a short post-game interview. You are going up against Icy Fresh in the winner's semifinal. On that note, let's also segue into the next